Earlier this week, U.S. lawmakers and federal officials discussed what President Obama has called a, quote, humanitarian crisis. The U.S. says since October of last year, more than 50,000 unaccompanied children have fled poverty and violence in Central America, seeking a pass to stay in the United States. Politicians from both the Democratic and Republican parties hotly debate how to deal with this crisis. We begin with this report from CCTV's Ginger Vaughn.
Another busload of women and children arrive in Laredo, Texas at the Holding Institute Community Center, a nonprofit group that helps migrant families once they've been released from detention centers all over the U.S. Being outside is a relief, and even the rain is welcome after being cooped up with dozens of other migrant families in cramped quarters and no shower in days. 34-year-old single mother REINA Maldonado fled Honduras with her 11-year-old son to escape violence and pursue the American dream. She left her 17-year-old son and 14-year-old daughter behind.
Bien difícil, sufrimos bastante.
She borrowed $7,000 from relatives to get here with the help of smugglers. She says detention centers have been the hardest part so far.
Bueno, que para mí.
They treated me badly. They didn't see me as a human, and at times I regretted coming here. But I know how to move forward. I want to work so I can pay the $7,000 back.
Pero como ya estamos aquí, tenemos que.
The influx of migrants is overwhelming centers like this one. U.S. border authorities have detained more than 39,000 adults with young children from October through May, according to the White House. Every full busload that comes to this center averages about 50 women and 70 children. After they're processed at detention centers, migrants are temporarily released on their own recognizance to await a future court appearance. Then they're dropped off at bus centers and are on their own. Hundreds come through this facility every day, mainly women and children who come here to get a shower and pack essentials like shoes, food, and clothing to prepare for their next journey, which is usually to find a friend or relative in the U.S. Holding Institute staff member Virginia Garcia is trying to provide some basic comforts.
What we're seeing here is busloads of people being dropped off at the bus station. We have several different organizations that have come together to assist the migrants, particularly in the holding. You'll see small shuttle buses that are sponsored by Catholic Social Services. They're bringing people here so that they can shower, and we're giving them a bag with hygiene products because many have treks of 3-4 days before they reach their destination.
Unaccompanied minors are held at detention centers. Former Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent HIPOLITO ACOSTA has dealt with thousands of children crossing U.S. borders and says kids who come alone will require special care and customized programs.
These are children that in many cases they don't know why they're here. They're looking forward to where they're going, but really in some cases don't even know that they're crossing borders. They're entrusted to smugglers who they might not know, who might abuse them. You have to make sure, again, like I stated, that they're well cared for. Make sure that we identify who they are. Make sure that we entrust them to individuals that are actually family members if they are entrusted to them. And also try to determine if they have suffered any type of abuse along the way. What kind of care do they have? We have counselors available that will deal with emotional issues.
More than 52,000 minors traveling without parents have been caught crossing the southwest border illegally since October. That includes 9,000 in May alone, a record number. Outreach centers in Laredo, Texas, which sits right across the border from Mexico, are doing what they can to help.
From our end, I know that many of the nonprofit organizations in town have been very active in trying to provide for these families, because I'm telling you, many of these families are coming in with nothing on them. I mean, basically, whatever they're wearing, that's what they've got. And so, you know, I attended one of the meetings where they were talking about maybe providing basic needs like disposable diapers, things of that nature. It's really a bad situation, a humanitarian situation. I mean, aside from the political and legal aspect, the humanitarian side is really bad.
Groups like the Holding Institute Community Center are overwhelmed, but volunteers are active in Laredo, a city that is 95% Hispanic, according to census data.
I always have a special place in my heart for children, you know, to help them so that way they can have good memories to build on and move forward.
Ginger Vaughn, CCTV, Laredo, Texas.